Hello everyone, let's talk about this question. It's called Fox and Snake. Foxeel starts to learn programming. First task, wants to draw a fox, can't do it, and she decides to draw a snake. We've been given two inputs, N and M, which will govern the size of the snake that we will be making. The first value here, N, is essentially the height of the snake, and M is the width of the snake. For example, here in the input example, we see 3 and 3. The first 3 here is N, which is the height, so we can see 1, 2, and 3 lines worth of height, I guess. And the second 3 is the width of the snake. As you can see, there's 1, 2, 3 characters in each line. So that's what those inputs mean. Our job is to create the snake-like pattern where it starts from the left, goes to the right, then down, then left again, down, then right. This was a question that I struggled with when I was doing it, but eventually with some help I realized there are 3 main cases or situations here for which we can make sure that we're accounting for. So let's go over those 3 cases. And I'm gonna make the cases that I will be showing will be fairly intuitive with this example here. This has been taken directly from the input example here, which was a 9 by 9 snake. So in terms of the 3 cases that I was talking to you about, we can look at each of the lines as their position in the snake's body. For example, this line is in the first position, this is position 2. Let me write it. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So this line is 1, this line is 2, this line is 3, and so on. When we look at it that way, it becomes quite clear that all of the odd numbered lines will have all hashes. So that was the first insight that we can take off of it. Odd lines will have all hashes. The second idea that we can take here is, this will be interesting because you can see that the line number 2 and line number 6 have the same design, and 4 and 8 have the same design. So this is one of the other things we can work with. We can use modulo 4 quite interestingly here. Let me explain. You can see 2 mod 4 is 2, or rather 6 mod 4 is also 2, and we can see that the line number 2 and line number 6 have the same pattern. Similarly, we can look at another pattern, which is essentially 4 mod 4 equals 0, and 8 mod 4 is also 0. And you can see on this side that line 4 and line 8 have the same pattern. And once we have figured out these ideas, we can essentially implement it directly. Let's try to do that in the code right now. We will start off with our template, and as was mentioned in the code, we will be inputting 2 values, N and M. Now we're gonna go through the length of N because that is the height of the snake. So we want to make sure that we're writing or making that design on each line. That is why we're iterating through N. Our first insight was that all odd lines will have all hashes, which is what we will implement here. If I mod 2 is 1, we will see out string times m. Since m is the width, we will output hashes m times in that line. This is the case where the line number was odd. Else if we found that I mod 4, when that is the case, when I mod 4 is 2, we will output the dot sign m minus 1 times, and then the last value in that line will be the hash, which we can see here. We're outputting m minus 1 times the dot, and then the hash is the last value in the sequence. If that is also not the case, we only have one more possibility, which is the hash in the first place, and then m minus 1 times we'll place the dot string, which we can see on line 4 and line 8. We're putting hash in the first position and then m minus 1 dots, because m is the width of the snake. From my understanding, this code works, but I'm not sure if this is the most optimal or the most elegant way to solve this. So if you're able to figure out a better solution, I would love to know that in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.